Alyssa Slotkin, the Michigan senator who gave the Democratic response to Donald Trump's joint address to Congress, has some criticism of AOC and Bernie Sanders in a time when AOC and Bernie Sanders are turning out tens of thousands of Democrats who otherwise may be feeling very depressed and beaten down by the current political landscape. She's calling AOC out for giving those Democrats hope and light in a very, very dark, hard time for many liberals in this country. And to me, this just exemplifies exactly what is wrong with the more moderate, the more conservative Democrats that exist in our country, and really kind of just underlines the whole strategy that the Democratic Party is taking with this second Donald Trump administration. It really underlines the holes in the strategy, and kind of shows how out of touch many more conservative, pragmatic, as she says, Democrats are with a large swath of Democratic voters in this country. But before we look at her remarks, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, share with someone who's into politics. It helps the algorithm out, take my channel more seriously, and spread it to more and more people. So let's head over here to the Hill, where it says, Senate Democrat questions what Sanders Ocasio-Cortez have, quote unquote, actually done. 1 second here. There we go. So Michigan Senator Alyssa Slotkin revealed some of her frustration with progressives who are criticizing mainstream Democrats for not doing enough to oppose Trump during a fiery town hall meeting where she said liberal colleagues such as AOC and Bernie Sanders have made a lot of noise about Trump but haven't accomplished much. Slotkin said the diverse politics of her state require me to be more than just an AOC, referring to Ocasio-Cortez, who has harshly criticized Senate Democrats who voted last week for a House GOP drafted funding bill that cut non-defense programs by $13 billion. This would be 2 weeks ago at this point. I can't do what she does because we live in a purple state and I'm a pragmatist. Everyone you mentioned has a lot of words, but what have they actually done to change the situation with Donald Trump? She asked at the meeting, clips of which were played by CNN. Slotkin voted against the House GOP funding bill, which Senate Democrat leader Chuck Schumer and 9 other Senate Democrats voted for. The enraged liberals and AOC slammed support for the bill as a huge slap in the face. Democrats across the country, including Slotkin, have faced angry constituents at town halls this week who pressed the lawmakers to do more to counter Trump and Musk. Sanders and AOC, meanwhile, have traveled through Western states this week to rally progressives against Trump's agenda, dubbing it the Fighting Oligarchy Tour. In Las Vegas, AOC warned of an extreme concentration of power and corruption that is taking over this country like never before. Sanders urged progressives to run for office as independent candidates and challenge the Democratic Party from the left. If there's any hope for the Democratic Party, it is that they're going to have to reach out, open the doors, and let working class people in, let working class leadership come into the party, he told the New York Times. If not, people will be running as independents, I think, all over the country. So, I don't know, Slotkin, maybe in this time, maybe what we need to be doing is uniting behind the messaging that is igniting enthusiasm and injecting hope and a vision for the future that is not a country that is dominated by corporate interests and politicians who are easily swayed by those very corporate interests, maybe, just maybe, we should listen to the candidates who are turning out tens of thousands of people in a time when the Democrats are supposed to be at the lowest of the low with a 27% approval rating. Maybe we don't go after those members of the party. Maybe we need to all realize that a message that promotes working class people, working class policies that uplift the working class, maybe that's what we need to be promoting across the country, not going after the people promoting those policies and saying, well, we can't do that everywhere. I can't promote those policies that are going to uplift the working class. We can't do that in Michigan because we have conservative people in Michigan who don't want those policies. Okay, Slotkin, the Democratic approval rating is at 27% across the country, is what a recent NBC News poll said. There's not any lower to go. If you're the Democratic Party, you can't go any lower than you currently are, right? In 2016, Sanders was shut out in a coordinated effort by the DNC, by Debbie Wasserman Schultz, who coordinated with Hillary Clinton's campaign to keep Bernie out. Okay, I'm not saying the election was rigged in 2016. It wasn't rigged. Okay, Hillary Clinton got more votes than Bernie Sanders, certainly. But the Democratic establishment did every single thing in its power to fight against Bernie Sanders and keep him out. And what did that lead to? That led to Donald Trump being elected, is what it led to. When every single poll that was coming out back then was saying Sanders fares much better against Trump than Hillary Clinton does. You can go and look at the polls from back then that said that. Sanders fares much better because he's not nearly as unpopular as Hillary Clinton. And look what happened in 2024, right? We thought that Harris and Biden's campaign made the miscalculation of trying to capitulate to people in the middle. And they brought on Liz Cheney to campaign. And they didn't promote any real populist campaign points that resonated with the vast majority of working people. They ran a overly complicated campaign that didn't resonate with enough people. And now look where we are with the Democratic Party at 27% approval. Donald Trump, he's got the keys to the castle. They have the White House. They have the Senate. They have complete control of Congress. Okay? This is not a time to be going after the very people who are giving the Democrats any sort of hope and any sort of future in this country. It simply is not the time to be doing that, because doing that has got us in the position that we are in. So, hey, let's try something crazy, right? Let's let's maybe try something different. Let's maybe try a different campaign style. Let's maybe try some populism like Sanders and AOC are doing, to resounding, ecstatic, enthusiastic responses from many, many, many Americans. Slotkin, she is totally off on this one. Okay. Is it true that Michigan is a purple state? It's not necessarily a blue stronghold by any stretch of the imagination. Yes. But maybe, just maybe, that's because there's many people in Michigan, many working class people in Michigan, who don't show up for either the Democrats or the Republican Party simply because they feel completely abandoned by the Democratic Party's approach to fighting the Republicans and fighting Donald Trump. And the Democratic Party's complete lack of standing up in a widespread, meaningful way for populist measures that uplift the huge numbers of working people in America. Maybe, just maybe, there is a constituency in Michigan just sitting to be tapped into, that Sanders and AOC are tapping into, given the huge response that their Fighting the Oligarchy tour has got. Maybe, just maybe, that's happening. And maybe, just maybe, the Democratic approach to the Democratic strategy of, well, we just need to be a little bit more conservative. We just need to appeal to more conservative people. We need to bring the party just a little bit more to the right, and then we'll be elected. No, 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 no. For every voter out there, right, that you might be picking up that is voting for you because you brought the party a little bit more to the right, my personal thinking is that there are 2 or 3 or 5 voters out there that are disillusioned and turned off by the Democratic Party based on that very strategy. Look no further than the 2016 primaries, where Sanders, at the time, was a relative outsider, a relatively not well-known politician with no super PACs, no corporate funding, went up against Hillary Clinton, one of the most well-known politicians in America, who had tons and tons of super PACs and corporate funding, and took her feet to the fire, so much so, as I mentioned earlier, that they had to collude against him to keep him out. I think that was the best example of really where the vast majority of working people want to go, want the Democratic Party to go. And the blueprint's being offered. The blueprint has been given to us by Sanders, by AOC, by others in the squad. And the Democrats can follow that blueprint. They can tap into the populist appeal that many people are looking for and want the Democratic Party to go towards, or they can continue to attempt to appeal to pull off people from Donald Trump's base, or pull off Republicans who are not satisfied with Donald Trump but aren't Democrats. And they can continue to be at 27% favorability among registered voters in the United States. That's all I got for you guys in this one. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, share with someone who's into politics, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.